You guys having a good time? Yeah? All right. Has everybody heard the announcement about 2022, May 7th and 8th? Yeah? All right, go sign up if you want to be on that email list to get your tickets. And now, without further ado, please welcome Alaina Huffman and Jeffrey Vincent Parise to the stage. Come on out, guys. Woo! Hello, hello. Keep it going. You know the drill. It's a long walk up here.
We walk slow.
I feel like you dressed to match the stage today,
I
Alaina.
did.
Those are some fabulous pants.
Primary color.
Hello, how are you? Hello, Pittsburgh. Yeah, another packed house.
Woo!
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is happening. Did you guys go out last night? Do anything fun?
I got drunk with one of my cousins.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's the way it should be. Yeah, a bunch of us went out for dinner to Lamont.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, it was really pretty, and we had a great server. He was wonderful.
Oh, that's awesome. It's always good to hear about good service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like right on. He was really quick and.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, so here's my question to you as actors. Coming into a show like Supernatural, there is so much mythology. There's so many layers and timelines and intricate like details within the story. How do you, as actors, prepare to immerse yourself into a world like that?
Show up and hope for the best.
Right.
There are some times I think, I mean, I'll watch a handful. Like I think for Supernatural, I watched the first episode or two, but I didn't think that it was really representative tonally of where the show was at season 8 when I came on. So I think, so then I like peppered in, you know, a couple episodes here and there, but honestly, I try not to learn too, even auditioning, I try not to learn too much unless there's a very significant tone that you have to kind of understand. I just try to go in it with my best foot forward and what I have to offer and not necessarily fall in line, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I watched a couple episodes, kind of got the feel of it, but then I felt like Asmodeus was coming in and kind of creating his own world. So.
Yeah, he was like self-inclusive.
Yeah.
Little, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I had to really just understand everybody else's mythology because he was his own mythology. So.
Yeah, and Alaina, I liked yesterday when you were talking about the props supervisor who you could go up and ask any question to because she seemed to know like the whole history of the show. Did you use that
Did
as
I say that?
What did you say?
Think so.
I don't think I said that.
Somebody else.
Oh, well, I feel like it was you, but maybe not. But anyway,
But it is true.
It is, yeah.
You can do that.
Sometimes people on set are great resources for...
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? It was the writers.
It was the
because I would go up to the writers and I was like, I think my character knows more than I know. Than that's on the page.
Right.
Because there is a mythology and somehow you're kind of like, I'm supposed to know this, right? But I don't know it, and why would I know it? But you're right, there is a huge resource. It's also just nice, I think what the outside world doesn't really understand is there's 200 people behind the scenes that are so intricate to what we do, and they are like family members. Like you know them, you spend tons of time with them, and you know them very intimately, and you hang out on the weekends, and you know their families and stuff like that. So, total side note from preparing, but just the work environment is, it's really intense, and it's really nice when you get on a show that is so family-oriented, which Supernatural is.
Yeah, definitely. Jeffrey, yesterday we talked about your inspiration as a painter and some of the artists that you have taken inspiration from, and Wendy Pini was one of them.
Yes.
And you also were just in the audiobook for ElfQuest, so tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, okay, so for those of you who don't know what ElfQuest is, it's a comic that started out as like a graphic magazine, and it was my first comic that I ever read as a kid, and I was obsessed with it. And over quarantine, I reread the whole thing, and as I'm reading it, I'm like, damn, this would make a good movie. And I came to this character, Bear Claw, and I thought, that's who I'd play. Then another friend of mine, when her and I first met, we bonded over ElfQuest. And I saw that she was doing an audio movie of ElfQuest. And so I wrote to them on Instagram And I said, I told him my story, and I said, if Bear Claw is in this one, I would love to play him. Didn't hear anything back. And then my friend Cree, who is also in this, she said, you're not going to believe this. I just talked to the producers and directors yesterday, and they said, we got this cast about wrapped up. We just need to find our Bear Claw.
That was meant to be.
And so she sent them to the Instagram message and all the stuff. And I used to draw these elves as a kid, and I sent them my drawings as a kid and my old ElfQuest magazines. And a day later, I had an offer for Bear Claw in my.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, so, I got to play him.
I love that you also just like went after it and like knew you were right for it and went after it.
We got to do that sometimes, right?
Yeah, it's never worked out for me. But good for you.
Thanks.
And Alaina, yesterday we talked about your short film and sort of the process getting you to the culmination of starting to shoot the film. But I'm curious, can you tell us a little bit more about the storyline and the role your daughter plays?
Yes, thank you. So I actually set out to tell a very simple story because, when you go to film school or when you read about directors, you read about like the biggest names, right? Just like actors and celebrities. We think if you're not on the cover of People magazine that you're not successful. And it's not true. There's a very working class actor or director, and I'm really going for that. So I wanted to tell a story that was really simple and relatable. It's a little bit of my story. It's about a single mother who, in this story, her husband's passed away, and she's, held it down, and she has a daughter and is ready to start dating. And the daughter's not quite on board with it. I think she is mentally, but emotionally, she's not quite ready. And then it's sort of finding, the peace that the daughter has around her mother moving on and sort of abandoning the family dynamic. And it's just, I think, a really simple story that's really relatable. Most of my friends are like executives at Warner Brothers or network executives, where I would tell a very family-friendly story, and it was strategic in that way. I didn't want to go out and make a really artsy film that I can't get hired with. I'm going to invest my money in something that I can use as a resume. And so I offered it to my daughter. She's actually a very good actor. She doesn't have any desire to be an actor, but especially during COVID, we have to do a lot of self-tapes, which is our audition process. Normally you would go into an audition room, you have a casting director, there's a camera operator, and then there's a reader, another actor who reads your lines with you. Well, now we're kind of left to our own devices. So my daughter's been helping me a ton, and she's instinctually a great actor. So I'm watching her really play characters all the time as she's reading with me, and I'm like, you're good, you can do this. It'll also save me money. And but more importantly, I thought, what a great opportunity. It's something we can do together. It was actually my ex-boyfriend who played the guy in the movie, and so her and him had a really cathartic experience as well, and sort of worked through their closure at the end of our relationship, and it was just such a beautiful experience for me.
This is the tagline.
Yeah, so I'm working on my pitches.
Yes. What's the title?
Oranges.
Oranges, I love it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
If you guys have questions, you guys can line up in the aisles at the mic. And while they're getting lined up, I have a fun question from Twitter. This was Maria from Twitter who wanted to know this. Who is stronger, the Knight of Hell or the Prince of Hell?
Arm wrestle?
All right.
Emotionally, physically, spiritually, what are we talking here? I don't know. You guys answer. Answer right.
I mean, I think one of the factors would be, am I injecting the angel grace at this point during this strength contest? Because if that were the case,
you could pick whatever point in your journey.
Well, then
yeah.
it's when I'm
Do I have
injecting
access
angel
to
grace.
the angel stuff?
No.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah.
Why
Sorry.
Why does it have to be a competition?
Right?
Can't we just do shit together?
Yeah.
You're both strong and powerful.
That's right.
We'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
So my question is for Jeffrey. Do you have a medium of art that you want to work with, or if you've worked with a lot, what is your favorite?
I've mostly worked with canvas and paints, but I have explored other mediums. I've done a lot of paintings on wood, and I'll draw it out in charcoal pencil, and then I'll use acrylic paint. And there's some fun things you can do on wood with acrylic paint, with sandpaper as well, with some of the shading. So I've explored different mediums, yeah. And I've also, I do some sculpty stuff, which is a lot of fun. If you guys haven't done that, anybody can really do that. That's a lot of fun.
What's your advice for someone who wants to start painting? Let's just go with painting and has never done it. What should they do?
Just paint.
Just paint.
Just paint, and yes, and don't judge yourself like that. I think so many people don't start something because they think they have to get it right at the beginning. And there's a Zen phrase called Wu Wei, which is beginner mind. And if you can be okay with beginner mind, that's when you start learning what your voice is, and try not to be a perfectionist right away. Just paint.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, my question's for both of you. What is your favorite thing about like going to conventions and being with the Supernatural family? And two, what would your characters think of the whole 2020 situation? Like, would they be out making more evil, or would they be good? Like, what would happen? Oh, and I love you too.
Thanks.
He's so cute. What was I think maybe our characters created 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe this is where it
It's
came
all
from.
going according to plan.
Yes, yeah.
And the first part was, how's it feel to be back with your Supernatural family?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
conventions. Favorite
Yes.
part.
We were talking about this morning. Like, you're fairly new to the convention world.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a really long time, and it's just such a blessing. I mean, I love so much seeing everybody and us, you know, our little group of like actors that all meet up all over the world. But also, like, I've had so many people have like meetups at my table. I think I was in Cleveland one time, and this woman came and she's like, "Oh, I'm meeting my Facebook friend of 6 years for the first time in person, and I met at my table." And it was the cutest.
Yeah.
And so I just love that people are so interconnected. I love particularly in this fandom how philanthropic and how conscious everybody is and how supportive everybody is. It's just so great.
Yeah, I would say a lot of the same stuff. There's so many layers to what's great about these conventions, and one of them especially being that like you all get to find your tribe. And I know that there's been some, and a lot of my meet and greets, we will introduce ourselves, and I ask people to exchange their information, and there's one in particular in Chicago. The people that were at this meet and greet in Chicago they've been best friends since, and they're always saying how.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's because they find these people with common interests and their own brand of weird, which is great. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks.
You too. Hi.
Hi. My con mom was just making a nice little heart at me when y'all mentioned the your best friends there. So that was really cute. Love you, Rachel.
I love
All
that.
right. Anyway, first off, you guys are simply amazing. You're so multi-talented with all these different things that you have going on. So you're truly wonderful. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
But my question actually goes to both of you in regards to your acting prowess and everything that you guys have had the pleasure of doing. What is an acting challenge that you have faced, and what is one moment that you stood there and you're like, yeah, I got this. Who cares? Like, I got this.
The hardest and maybe the easiest,
Easiest?
or most,
Yeah.
most comfortable, we could say.
I can say, well, I had a recent real challenge where it was a movie that I got offered, and it was to work with Roland Joffe, who's a 2-time Academy Award nominated director I've always wanted to work with. And the movie itself, whatever, but the role called for me to be clean shaven, short hair, you know, live in a mansion with a what? It was like very sort of, And when I hadn't seen my face in 8 years, and I shaved and I cut my hair, and then it shot in another city, so they put me up in an apartment, and I'm living in this apartment with a different car that I drive. The apartment is not at all like how I would have it, and I was having a mild identity crisis. I didn't recognize myself in this environment, in the mirror, and the character was one of maybe the sort of straightest arrows I had ever played, but like it was so difficult to play him because there wasn't this stuff to grab onto like with an Asmodeus or with most of any of the other characters that I played. So to play a normal person was probably my biggest challenge.
I get that. I get that. Alaina, any?
Yeah, I can relate to that. I do feel that there is something because you still have to find a grounding in those characters,
Yeah.
and if there's then that leaves a lot of variables. Like it's not always on the page, and it doesn't necessarily have to be because they're just a person living their life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. A kind of a straight and narrow character is definitely more challenging. But I think as far as the easiest goes, I think it's just really, we always say this, like committing to your choices, whatever your choice is for your character, just really committing to it. And I think when you go in it sort of all out, that's always been the most freeing for me.
Thank you guys so
and
much.
I know for like as far as the easiest parts go, or like you say, I got this, was Asmodeus. And when I walked in, and so to play a demon prince of hell, the fact that it came easy for me, I'm not really sure what that says about me, but
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But it's interesting because as an actor, the more kind of like characteristics you can add on, the
Yeah.
freer you can be. So it's interesting when you completely shaved yourself and you were just like almost naked playing a normal guy.
Yeah.
That's like the most vulnerable
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
way.
I think it's really interesting too because the longer you sit with a character, obviously, the more the character develops.
Yeah.
And so if it's a movie, for example, and you don't have a whole lot of time to spend with it, especially if there's not a lot of rehearsal, it can feel a little light. And the longer again you sit with these characters, you just know them so well.
yeah. And then there's the so I was on a soap for about 3.5 years, and there was this character that I loved playing him, General Hospital. Viva Carlos! And I loved playing him, and he was very multifaceted as a person. But then there would be times I would get a script, and I remember one time in particular, I'm like, he would never say this or do this. But then I was working with an actor, Jason Thompson, who said, or maybe he would. Maybe this is a layer of him you haven't discovered yet.
Right.
And in being able to play a character that long, you get to all of a sudden discover all these little nuances that maybe you didn't even know about this person or character that you're playing. So it gets to be this really multi-layered person when you get to play it for a very long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, I have a question for each of you. Jeffrey, I was wondering if you have any artworks that you're working on currently or have an idea for a recent project. And for Alaina, I was wondering where you got your pants.
Go ahead.
Well, I have. It's a two-man art show. It's an online show, and the show itself became a creative project because it's multimedia, and so you go into this gallery on your computer, and you get to walk around it. But there's also audio. There's an audio element to it, so it's kind of like being in a museum with one of these headphones on. You can go and listen to what I would say, or my friend who I'm doing the show with would say about our paintings. So that's the new one. It's
That's
called,
cool.
Yeah, it's
Thanks.
really cool.
It's called Skin, Feathers, and Fur, and it's free to go check out if you guys want to see it.
Is that like a website? Skin, Feathers, and Fur?
No,
Don't go to that website.
Don't
I don't
go
know
to
what's on that
website. I don't know
website.
what you're going to
We don't
find
know
on
what
that one.
website is. Yeah.
Don't Google it.
It's where she got her pants.
It's the new OnlyFans platform.
Yeah, that's where she got her pants on skinfeathersandfur.com.
I got my pants from my dear friend Ruthie Connell. She gave them to me. Yeah, they're from Zara.
Love that.
I don't know she gave them to me. Actually, I had just had COVID, and they fit a lot better. And now I wasn't squatting 100 pounds at the time, but I like them. I feel like a crayon. And I'm Steelers. I'm Steelers colors.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Hi.
So my question is for Jeffrey as a fellow artist, but for me at least, I need to have a day job to actually pay the bills. Do you find painting or acting more rewarding, or just rewarding in different ways? And if you could just commit yourself to like painting all the time, would you, or is there still something about acting that also calls to your creativity?
Yeah, they're fulfilling in two very different ways, but they're two parts of the same animal, I feel like. And I am committed full-time to painting, but also committed full-time to acting as well. And they're just a beautiful marriage for each other, because when one is slower than the other, I get the other one to fill in that creative gap. The thing about painting, though, that's a lot different than acting is I can do it whenever I want. And I mean, sometimes we can do monologues and stuff, in our phone, but painting is, I'm mostly in charge of when I can do it and what I want to do.
And you can do it by yourself.
Right.
Like
right.
with acting, a lot of times it does require a connection or a collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello. So I was wondering, you both played demons in the show, and I'm just curious if you would choose a different monster/creature to play.
Different monster/creature.
I think it would be fun to play a vampire.
I was going to say that
Yeah.
too.
You'd make a great vampire.
Oh, thank you. So would you.
Thanks. I see a new show.
Yes. King and Queen Vampires.
Vampires. The Empire.
I like it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. So I loved and hated both your characters on the show. Y'all are just
Thank
that
you.
amazing. And I was curious, would y'all want to play someone good? Or if there's anybody in particular on the show that y'all would have wanted to try and play?
Sam or Dean, because,
Yeah.
He wants the paycheck.
Yeah.
And the adoration.
Mostly the paycheck.
Mostly the paycheck. I always say I'd like to be Castiel, just because everybody loves him. I just want to be adored.
I think you're amazing, though. You're great.
Thank
And thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. My question is actually kind of similar. So you guys play straight villains in Supernatural. Do you guys wish you guys kind of had that redemption arc at all? And how do you think that would have played out, or how would you have liked that to play out?
Yeah, I wish I would have had more episodes.
I think the challenge when you're playing such a straight bad character is it lacks human quality. And so it was really fun to be brash and bold, but it lacks a lot of layers. And I felt like in order to have longevity with a character, they brought Crowley to the brink of humanity, and I think the reason for that is just in the art of storytelling, you have to have some relatable quality, and if you're untouchable, you're not relatable. So I definitely felt like she was strong to her detriment as a character, and it would have been really nice to have a vulnerability and a weakness and a more human element to her.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So everybody here obviously
Not
loves
COVID, not COVID.
Supernatural.
Not COVID.
You okay? Okay. There's water here if you need it.
Oh.
They love Supernatural. They love you guys. What are you guys into? What do you geek out about? Are you reading something in particular? Are you watching a series that you love? Is there a movie you've seen lately? Anything like that stand out?
We were just talking about like what everybody's watching in the dream. I feel like if I put on the TV, I fall asleep. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't really watch a lot of stuff. I'm actually just kind of an active person. I'm outdoorsy, but I did just watch Outer Banks. I really like Outer Banks. What else have I watched lately? Manifest. I talked about that yesterday.
ElfQuest obviously is one I was geeking out on.
Yeah.
But, as far as watching stuff, there's a show on Hulu called In and of Itself. It's a movie-ish. Well, it's more of a performance. It's like this magic performance that is mind-blowing. I highly recommend.
I've seen it. Yeah,
Isn't
twice.
it
I've seen it. I had to watch it
amazing?
twice. Yeah.
This guy does things that you think it's this. It feels like real magic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a master of his craft that it feels very real. And I got very emotional at the end. Did you?
It is. Yes, it's
Yeah.
very emotional.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. Definitely check it out.
Is this the one where he's like on a stage?
Yes.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
seen parts of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sit down and watch
fascinating.
it like sight unseen. Go in like
And
you're
he
going
keeps
to.
a person from the audience.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
involves
I've seen
the
it.
audience a lot.
A lot.
and
Yeah,
it's
yeah. It's very cool.
mind blowing.
Very interesting. Okay, we have time for 2 more questions. So one from each side. Hi.
Hi. Hold on, I need to record this. I'm collecting quotes for my classroom. It's my first year teaching. So, what's your favorite quote that you'd like to share?
What grade are you teaching?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually have
Skin, feathers,
honors.
and fur.
I have 9th and 10th.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, so they probably watched the show. A lot of them, or they could get into it. So.
I actually started Supernatural when I was 14. So,
Okay.
15
I got
years ago.
one.
Right.
Quit your day job.
Quit your day job, follow your dreams.
Yes.
Yeah. Gosh. There's so many quotes.
So many.
So many.
I'm like blanking. I would just, say, yeah, be true to yourself. Like, follow dreams, as corny as those sound.
Quit your day job, follow your dreams, dream big, dream often.
Yeah.
I like that.
Daydream.
Daydream.
I'm a big daydreamer. I call it meditation, but really it's daydreaming.
Thank
Love it.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a request for Jeffrey.
Okay.
Can you give us your favorite line or saying in the voice of Asmodeus?
I am Asmodeus, here to rule until such time as Lucifer returns with his son. And there are gonna be some changes.
That's awesome. Thank you. What a great way to end the panel. Thank you guys so much for coming out and spending this time with us. Did you guys have a good time?
Yeah.
All right, one more.
My cousins are in the house.
Woo!
Yeah! Woo!
All right, one more big round of applause for Alaina and Jeffrey. And don't forget to stop by their tables and say hi the rest of today.
Y'all.
I got money for Monday's poker too, by the way.